Welcome back to GA Fan TV. Kilmacud Crokes are Leinster Club Senior Football Champions. They've beaten Naas by a scoreline of 14 points to 7, and it is Kilmacud Crokes who win the Leinster Club Senior Football Championship for a fifth time in their history, and their very first, as a matter of fact, since 2010. It's been a 12-year drought without the Leinster Club Senior Football Championship, and Kilmacud Crokes, who we very well know, suffered a shock defeat there a couple of years ago to Mullinjachta in the final of the Leinster Club Senior Football Championship when they were stunned by the Longford-based outfit. But they've avenged that defeat today in many ways. They've, I suppose, put that misery to one side, and they've come back and they've won the Leinster Club Senior Football Championship by a scoreline of 14 points to 7. A huge victory in the end for Kilmacud Crokes. And you know what? I'd have to say this was probably their best performance, in my opinion. I was going to say this year, but obviously it's a new year. But in terms of this overall club year, looking back at the games in the Dublin Club Senior Football Championship, obviously the Leinster Club semi-final, quarter-final, I think this was their best performance. And, you know, it was probably their best performance without their best player in Paul Mannion. And we see this quite a lot in time to time, not just in Gaelic games, but in sport in general, where a big player is missing for a team and all of a sudden, you know, 4 or 5 other lads have to step up and show what they're made of. And you know, there probably is a narrative maybe that Kilmacud Crokes are so reliant on Paul Mannion and they need Paul Mannion to take them over. And because he's not playing with the Dublin senior footballers anymore, that's why Kilmacud Crokes are elevated a bit more to this level. But I think they showed today they've a lot more in the tank than just Paul Mannion. They've, you know, very, very well run team, very well coached team. I thought they were brilliant today from start to finish. Came flying out of blocks, were 4 points to 1 up at one stage early on, 4 points to 2 at the first water break. The press that they put on Naas high up the pitch, I thought was the most impressive thing, really, because Naas were going short a lot of the time from their kickouts, and they were definitely having a lot of joy at one stage in the first half, Naas, especially when they went long from their kickouts, because Kilmacud Crokes pressed up on Naas quite a lot. But you've seen in the second half, like, it really did start to pay dividends, and the turnovers, in my opinion, I think were the big difference between both teams. I think Kilmacud Crokes turned Naas over in and around their own full-back line, half-back line, time and time again in the second half, and even at times in the first half as well. And they were some of the, I think, main reasons why Kilmacud Crokes punished this Naas team, in my opinion. Tom Fox was brilliant from a Kilmacud Crokes point of view into the team today. Obviously, Paul Mannion injured, and he took his chance brilliantly. 5 points, 2 points from place balls, 3 points from play, 3 splendid points as well. He was absolutely brilliant. Craig Diaz, I thought, was exceptional for Kilmacud Crokes. So he would have been my man of the match personally. Yeah, like, you know, some of the high catches were absolutely brilliant, but his awareness on the ball, like being able to pick out that pass in front of him, I thought was one of the most impressive things as well. And obviously, he was the spearhead of a lot of those turnovers, pressing quite high up, found himself in a lot of attacking positions at one stage as well. Finished the day with a point, and it was a brilliant point as well in the first half. I think Rory O'Carroll deserves a special mention, and I think Kilmacud Crokes in general, you know, maybe their defence is going a little bit under their radar this year, but Rory O'Carroll was absolutely brilliant in that 6th position, showing his experience, of course, having been involved with the Dublin senior footballers for quite a long time. And Dan O'Brien, I mean, he has quite a right foot, doesn't he? You know, that outside of the boot shot, which we've seen on more than one occasion this year. And that was a brilliant point in the first half as well, really to take the edge off Kilmacud Crokes when Naas started coming into the game. And it just was that pressure, in my opinion. And I think Kilmacud Crokes, like, they definitely had more possession in this game than Naas. I think Kilmacud Crokes were a lot more patient on the ball as well. They waited for the right openings. They waited for the right chances. They didn't rush any chances. And I was just looking at some stats there on the GA Statsman Instagram account. If you're not following, go over there and have a look for some stats on the game. But 66% accuracy, according to himself there. 14, 21 shots in total. 14 of them scored. And that tells you a lot of what you need to know about Kilmacud Crokes, about how efficient and brilliant they were in front of goal. And turnovers-wise, 20 turnovers, 64% of their turnovers won, which tells you a huge deal about Kilmacud Crokes there in terms of stopping Naas from playing out from the back. And Naas were being rushed quite a lot of the time, and it was working in the first half because they played through that squeeze that Crokes were putting on Naas in the first half. They were able to play through it, I felt, a lot of the time, and they got a lot of joy running at Kilmacud Crokes, like the direct running from Dermot Hanifin, who was brilliant from an ace point of view, and even Eamon Callaghan at different stages as well, and Brian Byrne when he would burst forward from an ace point of view. So they were getting a couple of joy, did a couple of goal chances, a couple of half chances here and there. Definitely a big chance towards the end of the first half, I remember. That was a big opportunity from Dermot Hanifin, and maybe if that goes in, it could have been a different game. But Naas were causing problems for Kilmacud Crokes. In the second half, it was, Crokes were rushing Naas a lot of the time, and I think the energy levels dropped from an Naas point of view, where they were struggling to play through that press at this time. And yeah, they just ran out of energy, and just a few shots dropping short, maybe a little bit low on confidence then as well. Eamon Callaghan missed an uncharacteristic free quite early on in the second half, and Naas, from there, Kilmacud Crokes started building up that lead. They were keeping hold of possession. Their game management was absolutely brilliant as well, and defensively superb. And Naas didn't even score at all in the second half. No points at all in the second half. It was 8 points to 7 the end of the first half. 14 points to 7 was the full-time score. So Naas not even registering a point in the second half, which was a big surprise. But I think Kilmacud Crokes, you have to give a lot of credit to them for how they played in the second half. Some scores in total in the game: 5 points from Tom Fox, 3 from Darren Mullen, who probably one of the more underrated players in Kilmacud Crokes. Like, he goes under the radar quite a lot, but he's been sensational for Crokes this year. He's been a consistent performer, chipping away with a lot of points in a lot of different games, scoring big points as well. Callum Pearson came into the start 15, was brilliant, 2 points. Got his name on the team sheet, and he was absolutely brilliant. Dan O'Brien, Craig Diaz, Conor Ferris, and Aidan Jones with a brilliant point as well. And even that Aidan Jones point as well, I think it was a Craig Diaz slice ball right across the left-hand side of the pitch, and Aidan Jones put it over from that left-hand side. Like, just brilliant awareness from Kilmacud Crokes. They were brilliant at spotting the players in front of them, spotting who was creating the space, who was in the better position, and just a brilliant team performance. From Naas, 4 points, Eamon Callaghan, 2 for Dermot Hanifin, and a point for Paddy McDermott as well. JMac Podcast says there, Naas were very disappointing. Kilmacud, impressive without Mannion. Forgot how good Rory O'Carroll was. Kilcoo or Kilmacud for the All-Ireland. Yeah, definitely, mate. It's definitely looking that way anyways. I certainly wouldn't rule out Austin Stacks or Finbar's or, Padraig Pearce's Knockmore as well. But you would have to say, like, this was a very impressive performance from Kilmacud Crokes tonight, and probably their most impressive performance in this year's club season, in my opinion. Maybe the Ballyboden performance was a little bit better, but considering they were missing their best player, I thought it was hugely impressive. Obviously, Naas were missing, one of their star players as well, and Dara Kirwan, and we can't forget that either. But it was disappointing in the second half. Like, just a few chances dropping short, and confidence dropped a little bit as well. I thought they should have started going longer from their kickouts. They were still going quite short, and you could see Crokes were turning them over time and time again. They should have just started going a little bit longer. Maybe made some changes around the middle to try and, I suppose, kick the ball to, or something like that. They definitely needed to change something, because you could tell really after 10, 15 minutes of the second half that unless something big changes here, Crokes are probably going to win this one quite comfortably. But look, you got to give a lot of credit to Naas this year. Their first time in a Leinster Club Senior Football Championship final. So huge year for them coming through Kildare. A lot of work being done about football and hurling level in Naas at the minute. So I'm sure they'll be back with Dara Kirwan maybe next year, coming back fully fit. They've definitely got a chance, and plenty of young lads coming through there as well, in terms of Brian Byrne, who looks like a good player in there as well. Experience of Eamon Callaghan and Owen Doyle. So, a good mix of experience and youth. Plenty of good players in there. But, Kilmacud Crokes, like, very, very, very brilliant performance. Brilliant team performance, I felt. And definitely going into the final four of the All-Ireland series is definitely them and Kilcoo probably up there as serious favourites anyways. And it'll be interesting to see if they play each other at some point. That'll be a cracking game. It really, really will. But yeah, we'll go ahead and wrap this up here anyways. Cheers to anyone who tuned in, left a like, subscribed or whatever, or commented. Much appreciated. And let me know down in the comments below who was your man of the match. I think Craig Diaz was my man of the match personally. Thought he was brilliant. But yeah, you can't argue against Tom Fox either. he was exceptional. Dan O'Brien, and even as John said there as well, Rory O'Carroll was absolutely brilliant, wasn't he? And really, I suppose, showcase maybe a little bit. Well, Dublin's defence wasn't the issue last year, but he certainly wouldn't be a bad option to have in that position next year. But we'll see what happens there. But yeah, we'll go ahead and wrap this up here. Cheers anyone who tuned in. My name's Aaron, and I'll see you all on the next one.